Hi, my name is Marin, and today we're going to be talking about resistance exercise bands. Here with me, I have the Fitteroy Premium Resistance Band Set. We get 3 different sizes. Light is yellow, red is medium, and blue is heavy. I love exercise bands simply because they're very effective, they're simple, and they're really easy to take around. These weigh nothing. They're really easy to fold up, put in your backpack or in your gym bag, and take them wherever you go. When you're traveling, you can use these in hotel rooms, and you can even use these at home. The Fitteroy set's going to give you a door anchor too, which is also going to increase the amount of different movements that you could do with these bands. Another great thing about resistance bands is that they give you resistance throughout the entire movement. As opposed to weightlifting, weights only give you resistance when you're pulling against the force of gravity. Resistance bands also require that you use good form. So instead of just isolating the muscles, it works all the muscles, including the supporting ones that require balance and the small ones that support the joints and major muscles as well. So resistance bands are super effective, which is why we use them for therapy, and they're very gentle. It's very easy to start off if you're at a low level, but at the same time, it's very easy to incorporate them when you're in an advanced level. So they work for all people. These are all the reasons I love resistance bands so much. So without further ado, let's get started. If you're just starting out with resistance bands for the first time, even if you're an intermediate or advanced level of fitness, I highly recommend grabbing the light or the medium band. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my medium band here, set the rest down. And the first thing that I love doing with resistance bands is just simple isometric movements. So if you're doing any form of fitness, by incorporating an isometric movement within your fitness routine, you're adding another dynamic that's going to make your routine more thorough, more effective, and more of a whole body workout, more balance, and overall, just a really good workout. So in order to do isometric movements, you want to grab your band kind of close together. I'd like to say a little bit closer than shoulder width apart. Then pull it out just further than shoulder width apart. Find what balance is good for you. So if you are new to resistance bands, the closer you hold it and the further you pull it, the more resistance you have. But if you walk your hands out and start further out and then pull out, you have less resistance. So you have basically an unlimited amount of resistance variations per band, and multiply that by 3 different thicknesses or grades of bands. So I'm going to hold mine about shoulder width apart, pull slightly further out from shoulder width apart, and hold this. From here, I can focus on crunching my core and doing gentle twists. I can speed it up. So what's happening now is instead of doing this without a band and just working my core, I'm forced to use my core even more in order to hold this band out. I'm also working my shoulders and all of the muscles that connect between the shoulders and core. I'm feeling it in my glutes because I'm using more effort to pull the band while I'm focusing on twisting my core. So it's becoming more of a whole body movement instead of an isolated core movement. I also like doing just shoulder rotations, down and up. You want to make sure you're maintaining pressure, pulling that band apart, which is what's creating that isometric movement. Up here at the top, you can do tick-tocks, side to side, getting those obliques, as well as your shoulders, your lats, your forearms, triceps, everything. And I also love incorporating these for things like lunges. So if I'm doing a lunge and rotating with the twist, and I'm maintaining that isometric movement, you can even do a nice raise there, come back, switch sides, maintaining that isometric movement the whole time. You can bring this behind you and do isometric movements from behind. That's going to change the muscle group a little bit, just a little bit of angle change or position change, and all of a sudden you're working like the back muscles now. I'm feeling it. From here I can squat. So holding that isometric movement. The good thing about these premium bands too is while they're not loop bands, you can tie them to be such. So if I bring them around my legs, and I like tying them because then you don't have to pull your feet in like you're putting on a pair of jeans. You're just bringing them around your knees, putting a nice little knot in it, just where you're comfortable. And from here, pull out so that there's this isometric movement. Now the band is putting pressure on my outer legs, pulling them in closer while I focus on opening those abductors. And from here, I can maintain that nice open stance, shoulder width apart, and perform my squats. We also like to do things like glute bridges. So if you're laying down and keeping this isometric hold with the band on the legs, lifting those glutes off the floor. So beyond simple isometric movements, these bands can do anything that you can do weightlifting wise or even cable wise at the gym. So if you step on the center of your band, you can grab both ends, lower for more resistance, higher for less, and perform curls. You can even perform lat raises. You might not be able to get all the way up, but it doesn't matter because you're using those same muscles, bringing them as far as you can. And if you need more length or you prefer working on isolated movements, you can just do one side at a time. Don't forget that with the isometric movements, you don't have to hold. You can make it a dynamic movement by simply stretching out, coming back in, making sure that core is nice and tight, exhaling as you stretch. You can do this overhead, underhand, and even behind the back. The same works if I have the band tied around my leg. I can do nice abductors and adductors. I can incorporate this laying down too. So we all like these guys. You can even move it down to your ankles. Woo, that's a good workout. And you can also incorporate this in side by side. So you can step, squat, step together, squat. So there's a variety of different movements that you can do using the bands. Basically anything that you can think about using the dumbbells with or weights with, you can do these with your bands. You can also do lawnmowers. Don't forget your bent over rows. Kickbacks, woo! That's tough. I'd probably loosen my bands a little bit for those. And you can even do deadlifts and traditional squats. By holding it a little bit lower, you have a lot of resistance. Bring it up. Now we're just talking about using these bands by itself, but incorporated with the door handle or the door loop, you're gonna get a lot more movement out of it. It all of a sudden becomes a cable row ability, and moving it at the top of the door, on the side of the door, or even low, you have a wide range of movements that you can go through with. So how this works is you open up your loop and just pull your band through. Now I'm gonna attempt to put this here through my wall so I can show you a couple different things. So I have my loop attached, and from here, now we've got rows, standing, even seated rows. You can pull them up high and do some overhead tricep pull downs. Add a crunch in there. But you can also do chest presses. So if I'm coming here, you want to hold the bands like this, bring them out to the outside, press them out. Nice flies. We want to open and close. Don't forget to alternate. You can come here and do bicep curls this way too. Remember, you're using a lot of stability muscles and a lot of core. So it's okay if you feel like the band is kind of tweaking in different directions. You want to hold it in line with your movement. And that's what's going to really make each movement efficient and effective, by making sure that you're not only using or isolating the major muscles, you're also getting supporting and minor muscles as well. So in order to make all of these movements a whole body workout, just piece together anywhere from 4 to 5 movements. Make sure you're doing something with the legs, something with the arms, and something whole body cardiovascularly that gets your heart rate up. And piece them together in a set of 4 to 5 exercises. Repeat that set 3 to 4 times, and you're gonna have a whole body workout with your new resistance band set. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video with the premium resistance bands by Fitteroy. My name is Marin, and thank you so much for watching.